everybody. Welcome to Stream of Card Consciousness, episode 11. Hard to believe it's already episode 11. This is Mark Ford with my brother and good friend Greg Smith. How you doing today, Greg?
I'm doing fantastic, Mark. How you doing this fine Sunday morning, man?
I'm doing good. Might actually hear the dogs in the background today. Everybody's a little bit wound up at Ford HQ today, so I apologize in advance. But again, this is DIY, and that's how it goes. So today we're
Right.
gonna do our cards of the week as usual. That's kind of a regular segment and feature of the show, and then we're gonna do something a little bit different today. Kind of get into a little bit of a behind the scenes look, if you will, of buying, selling cards, things that we do with sales and buying that we like, and some things that we dislike. But we're going to lead off with our cards of the week, and I will go first with the cards of the week of mine. Not a lot this week, but some really great stuff. My This is Josh Wickersham sent me. He knows friendly Manny Trio, and he's one of my favorites. And Greg collects Peachy, and that's his jam. So it's kind of symbolic of the show and myself. But a 78 Peachy Manny Trio, 5.5. It could be a one. I don't care. It's a thought that counts. So I can't thank Josh enough. That was tremendous. That's what the whole vibe of the show is about. That was really amazing. I really appreciated it. And again, I don't do a lot with modern, but when I do, I go to Billy Stillwell. He's on the modern side of the fire sales page, 94 and up. But I got this Aaron Ashby. The guy went like 2-10 last year. He's nothing big, but I like autos, and it's clear, and it's clearly authentic. So it's a neat card, and the autograph really
Okay.
pops. And in today's day and age, most
22.
people, yeah, it's
Yeah.
usually hieroglyphics when they sign their name. So
Right.
that's a beautiful throwback signature. I mean, I'll get an autograph of the guy that's a stiff or a bum that looks beautiful. Then I'd rather have that than a superstar's hieroglyphics. So I really like that. Billy Stillwell, check him out. I love it. Chris Frank, can't thank him enough. Another guy that buys cards for me knows I love Hank Aaron. Chrome, one of the Chrome reprints of Bad Henry there, and the 75 card with him and Mickey Mantle. He sent those to me as well. So again, people, that's awesome. Our friends and family of the show take the time out to send us things that we think, that they think we would like, and I can't thank them enough. That's the whole purpose of what we were trying to accomplish and do. And when something shows up in the mail unsolicited and it's very thoughtful, it means a lot. And then finally, I'm on the Gary Templeton kick. I got a nice hometown hero autograph, Templeton. I bought that, and then this just absolutely popping 85 Donruss PSA 9, Gary Templeton. I love it. So again, not worth a ton of money as I drop it on the floor, but it's what it means to you, and that's what collecting is about. So I love that card. And again, thank you, Josh, Chris, for your kindness, and thank you, Billy Stillwell. All right, that's what I got.
Comments on those, man. I always like to say things. I don't want to interrupt you while you're talking about them, but that trio couldn't have worked out any better, man. He texted me and or messaged me and said, "Hey, what's Mark's address?" and told me what he had. I was like, "Oh man, he is gonna love that." So
Oh,
that
I
was a
do.
couple. Yeah, it was a couple weeks in the works, but we were talking back and forth. Josh and I. Josh is a good guy, and
Hmm.
he and I bounce stuff off each other all the time. He does a lot of shows in Indiana in that area, so good on him for that one. Um, and then the Templetons, it's really I remember when I was a little kid, 6 7 years old, Gary Templeton was probably the best shortstop in the league for offense and defense. Um, Really just kind of a shame what happened with his knees and with his health because I think he probably could have been one of the all timers really. But those are beautiful Garys and commenting on the autographs a little bit. I think that um, I wish they would take some more time because if you look at the older autographs, it seems like they cared more and maybe they weren't signing as much or maybe it was just maybe it was just a pride thing, but it's the autographs of guys from back in the day. I mean, Dawson, Jerry Royce, guys like that. Just off the top of my head, those were beautiful, and I wish they would go back to that. But man, those are great cards. I love it. And I always enjoy this segment because I don't, we talk about some of the stuff you get and that I get, but I don't, it's always kind of a surprise to see what's going to happen. So beautiful cards, man. Good choices. Now I've got a few myself and got this one, Lyman Bostock
I just got
rookie
one of those
card.
too. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. I got one, and it's for a set. And if any of y'all don't know the story of Lyman Bostock, there's a wonderful 30 for 30 segment. Just type in Lyman Bostock ESPN, and it's a story about what happened to him. And I won't go into too much detail, but it was a very tragic ending for him. Um, Total wrong place at the wrong time. He's finished second in the league in batting behind Carew in '77. He was a star in the making, and it was cut way too short. So I've always I remember when it happened when I was a kid. I was 8 years old, and just it's funny how those things kind of attach to you as you get older, and just having his rookie card finally is a cool thing. Um, Got this one from you, Mark. This 1959 Pinson. Second year Pinson. I've got a couple from you. I didn't really get a whole lot in the mail the last week. I was out of town. So I don't have a lot of cards of the week, but 59 Pinson, will he make the Hall of Fame someday? He probably should, really. I mean, if you look at his body of work, and I think he suffered from being in a really stacked era. If he was playing now, he probably would be recognized as one of the better players in the league. Um, my thoughts is they should give him a closer look for the Hall, honestly. And I love that card, second year card, nice crisp card, and I appreciate you getting that one to me, man. And then this one here, Pedro Martinez. I don't even know what year it is, but it's one of the chrome, and I've thought a lot about modern cards lately, trying to maybe dip my toes back into them a little bit. Um, Buying some singles. I don't really want to go buy packs anymore because the odds are super, super bad. But just picking some things off, and you've kind of got me back into that a little bit. So that's cool. Um, Love those cards. Love Pedro. Pedro is probably my number two Red Sox guy, really, of all time. Just he was so electric when he was pitching and helping get us to the World Series. I'd say it's probably Yaz, then Pedro, then Schilling, and then probably either Boggs or Clemens, maybe Jim Rice. So in my pantheon, Mount Rushmore Red Sox guys, and then the piece de resistance,
Oh, there it is.
the '63 Fleer Yaz. What do you say, man? Thank you for that card. Uh, you're the only package I got all week. So
Home
um,
cards of the week.
yeah, yeah. So I didn't really. I like to keep it to what I got that week if I
Yeah.
can, and but this would have been any week, man. If I'd have gotten 50 packages, this card right here. Um, you know, thank you. Not to gush too much about it, but
Oh, hey, it's
really,
all good, man.
really meant a lot to me, and I appreciate you sending me those cards, man. So those are
Yeah.
my cards for the week.
Good
So,
choices.
yeah, I'll kick
Wish
it
they
back
weren't
to
all
you, man.
mine.
You What's that?
I wish they weren't all the ones I sent you. You'd have got some from some other people, but no, that's again that's good because that's going to kind of roll into what we're going to talk about next a little bit. But as far as those cards, I saw that Yaz, and I'd have battled all day. That was coming with me. That
Yeah,
was leaving the great state of Ohio with me, and it was going to you. I just I was winning that card.
well, I appreciate it.
And then with Bostock, I squealed like a fanboy there in the beginning because I just got so funny how ironic how we are. And I just got two rookies and a second year Bostock earlier in the week, and how ironic that you picked those because that's uh, that's really cool. And also that's in Orlando, that rookie. That's Take Care Field. That's no longer there,
Is
but
it
that's
really?
behind the Citrus Bowl. If you look,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's Take Care Field in Orlando. Again, so that fits into my oddity of place. And he was interesting that he signed with the Angels, a big deal, and he was hitting about 180 or something. And he said he was going to donate his charity donate his salary to the poor and to give it away. And so he basically his first month's salary he played for free because he said he wasn't earning it. Could you
Yeah.
imagine that today? I mean,
Oh
what a guy.
yeah, no, no, I can't imagine that today. And I do you remember
Oh, I
when that
do. I
happened?
was 8 or 9. Yeah, I was yeah, it was terrible. It was
It
terrible.
really was, and he was, it was right at the end of the season in '78, and he was one of my favorite players
Mhm.
for some reason back then. I had a thing for Minnesota Twins players for some reason back then. I'm not sure why. I liked Carew and I liked Bostock. I'm not even sure if that's how you say his name, but um, read that if you haven't already. Read that ESPN story, everybody, and it's fascinating. Just the whole story about what happened to him. So,
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
Right on, as my dogs go crazy in the background, like I said. So usually they're laying here sleeping, but the level of activity, if there they go. So if you have animals, people, you know that the level of activity in the house usually equals the level of activity of the dogs. So it's a little busy here today at Fortress Ford. So hopefully they'll calm back down. But today I just want to talk a little bit about. Oh,
Mark,
go ahead. I see those books too.
yeah,
Absolutely.
let me do books of the week. Actually, we
All
have
right. All right.
these two that you recommended last week. So my mother-in-law is a religious watcher of the show, and she
Hey,
took it
mother-in-law.
upon herself. My mom watches too, so hi mom, hi mother-in-law. Um, got these two books for me: the Bullpen Gospels, Dirk Hayhurst, and We Played the Game, which I'm going to dive into today a little
Mm,
bit. Both recommended by Mark. I can't wait to start them. So I just wanted to shout out for those. So
Perhaps the way to go, mother-in-law.
right
That's
on.
awesome. Yeah, those are. I was following some of the comments in the thread in our group, and I think we helped him sell a couple books this week.
Yeah, you
So
might have.
that's yeah. He was on. If anybody's interested, Sabercast or no Baseball by the Book podcast. To check out. That's how I got turned on to him a few years ago. Is sorry again, I apologize about the dogs. Baseball by the Book, and that's how I found out. And that's how I found out about a lot of the books that I recommend or that we read. Is it's a podcast called Baseball by the Book. It's fabulous, fabulous podcast.
Right on.
So yeah, so today we're gonna talk a little bit about buy and selling some things that me and Greg encountered that we liked. I mean, first for me, I'm how do we say it? I buy cards to sell cards, basically, so I could buy more cards, and that's it's a fun thing. By no means a giant. I move a lot of cards, but not a lot of high dollar cards, and just sometimes like the atmosphere around it. People, especially at my level, I'm like the quarter king. 25 cent, 50 cent cards. I sell a lot of them, and I turn those cards into the cards that I wanted when I was a kid. The Hank Aaron's and the things like that. And I don't think people realize like how much work and effort it goes into putting a cell together, especially like that. There's not a lot of people doing what I do, and I'm not bragging or waving my flag or anything. It was, hey, how can I get these cards that I want? I don't have $1 million. I'm a school teacher. My wife works hard. I work hard. She's a nurse. But so I had all these cards, and I saw there was like an area, a vacuum at that level, the 25, 50 cents. So I just started, going through boxes upon boxes upon boxes upon boxes, and taking 25 cents, add to $1 to two to three to four to five, and then maybe I can get a lower end Hank Aaron or something like that, and keep it moving. But it takes hours of fishing through these cards and throwing them out and sorting them out and putting them in lots so that they're, you don't just want to put a haphazard group of pictures up that, nothing makes me crazier than, you're looking at something, you want everything to kind of be relative 87 tops, 88 tops, 90 tops, or this player, that player, this player, that era. You don't want to have like a 1962 in with a, 1989. It just doesn't work. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think that people that buy cards, they don't always really realize that look, this isn't my full-time job. I do this as fun and as a hobby. If you saw my sale yesterday, we had a lot of fun. It's meant to be fun. And I will be 110% honest. Oftentimes I will sell cards at a loss. Greg knows I bought cards from Greg and I sold them cheaper than I bought them because I need that to move the tonnage, so to speak. There has to be a hook. I might be missing a little something in an area. I need something for everybody, and sometimes I might be lacking it. So if I got to pay $5 for something and sell it for four to help move some of the tonnage, the 25 cent, the 50 cent cards, I'm fine with it. And
Sure.
I'm not there to make money. Ultimately, we were talking the other day, me and Greg. It's almost like being a GM of a football team with a salary cap. You have so much money to spend. You have so many resources to allocate, and you want to make sure you can do the best you can with it. So, inevitably we get what we call the flexers, the people that flex, or they're the smartest guy in the room. And look, don't flex up on me. I've been doing this a long time. And if I'm going to sell and I'm getting cards and I'm buying cards, leave me alone. If you're the competition, so to speak, I don't need messages. Don't instant message me. Don't DM me. Don't message me. Don't school me. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need man speak. I don't need to be mansplained. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 45 effing years. You know, don't,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to pay attention to you because, A, I'm not getting distracted because I'm focused. Because when we get in some of the sales we get into, you know, you
You
got to
got
be
to be
quick
on your
and
toes.
you got to be on your toes, right? So you got
Yeah.
to bang, 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 and we win by seconds a lot of times. But don't interact, don't engage, don't tell me how smart you are. And it's just the last few weeks. I'm being honest, and I know this is a little bit of a different show than we usually do, but it's been bizarre. I have dealt with so many oddities and strange people, and it has just been honestly bizarre. We're to the point where I wouldn't even want to do it anymore. And Greg will tell you, I told Greg, I'm done. I can't deal with this. I have a job. I have a family. This is supposed to be fun, and I'm spending days dealing with people and just look. I don't hound people for money. If you don't pay me, I really don't care because at the end of the day, I'm not selling priceless antiquities. It's just cardboard and it's like $5, $6, $2, $3. I'm gonna send you the DM. If you don't respond, fine. But don't 6, 7 weeks down the road be like, hey man, where's the cards? Well, A,
Yeah.
you didn't pay for them and respond to me. B, they're long gone. But it's
Right.
just really weird sometimes, just the whole vibe, the environment around it. And super flexor and we'll be doing something together. And me and Greg kind of ride like a team. No secret. Look, we're on a show together. We're like best of friends. So of course we do a lot of things together. And inevitably we'll get into a sale or an auction or something. And here they come. Here comes the competition. They gotta school us and tell us what we're doing. And look, take your 30,000 eBay cards and just toss them. I really don't care about what you're doing, dude. Don't
Yeah.
just, it really brings you down, just that whole vibe, that atmosphere. It's not what we're about. So that's kind of from the selling aspect. And 99.9% is awesome. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the great people that we interact with, but just lately it just seems like people, these are not investment cards. It's not investment level stuff that I sell. If you're quibbling and giving me a hard time about why I won't sell a $3 card for $2, or you just bought $30 worth of cards, I'm not going to give you a card for half price. It's like because it's already half price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Oh
today's
yeah.
sale. Well, I don't care how many cards you bought. I already gave you a deal on 30 of them. I'm not
Right.
giving you, don't
Right.
just enough. So I don't
Yeah.
know if you have any thoughts on that.
I do. Oh, I do.
What?
Just it seems like in the groups that we're in, and we're not just in one group. The main group that we're in is the vintage fire sales, and I don't really see it as much in that group. I think that the administrators and the people who run that group and just the
Dreadful.
selectivity are top notch. So I don't. It's not so much in that group, but there's an interesting mix of people who buy and sell in these groups, and I think a lot of times throwing them all in the deep end of the pool with each other can be a little bit chaotic, I guess, for lack
Yeah.
of a better word. Um, there's people that I DM with, that I message with all the time, that I don't hear from them for a day or two, and I'm like, man, what did I do something to make them mad or what? So there's there's people like that. It's just I don't have a lot of linear thoughts on this. I guess, Mark. I think I'm the same as you. I don't buy and sell necessarily to squeeze every dime
No.
out of everything. Am I happy when I make money? Sure. I mean, it allows me to buy better stuff, like you said. There are a lot of people in these groups that do this for a living, and you can tell sometimes when that's the case. Um, I sell enough where I could do it for a living, but
Right.
I haven't ramped it up that much. So I always kind of tread lightly, I guess is the best way to put it, when I'm dealing with people, and what's their motives, and what's their, why are they talking to me about this? What do they want? When I'm selling, I'm like you. When I'm buying, I'm looking for deals. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking for
Yeah.
good deals, that either for my personal collection or for something that, there was a sale last night. I had 1961 high numbers for 50 cents. I mean, those are $15, $20 cards minimum. And I
Right.
missed them, but I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff too. So you can get the Mantles, or you can get the Mays or the
Hmm.
Aahrons or whatever. Um, I guess the best way to put where I'm going with this is, it's not all about the money. It's a little bit about the money for me.
Yes.
Um, not as much, I think, nearly as some people. And you can tell, I think, a lot of times when you're dealing with somebody that is doing that. And when I'm selling, um, I don't like to lose money on cards that I buy. I have more so lately, I think, than I had the past. I think the
Right.
market's changed a little bit too. Honestly, there's so many people selling in these groups. Um, I, you know, I've got a very compartmentalized brain when it comes to pricing and market research.
Hmm.
And I've noticed cards that used to sell for $4 or $5 every single time, 250, $3 now. So the
Right.
market's dropped, and I adjust along with that, but I also have to adjust what I'm buying them for. So, is there I, it has been a bizarre couple of weeks. I'm struggling to really not to keep it professional, but
Sure.
it's been a
Myself
weird
included.
couple. What's that?
Myself included. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been weird.
it's been a weird couple of weeks, and it's been not the most fun couple of weeks, honestly. But maybe it's just people coming out of hibernation for the winter, or I mean, who knows? But
Yeah.
let's get back to having fun with it, and that's what I want to do. And I bought a bunch of stuff this week, lots and things like that, and I'm looking forward to just getting into them and seeing what I've got. So,
Yeah. Me too.
do I want to sell them? Do I want to buy them? I'm always buying and selling, but let's keep it civil with everybody, and you know, not get feelings hurt if you don't get something that you want, or if you
Hmm.
feel like, there's been a couple times where I've given some advice lately where I feel like I've offended somebody by giving wrong advice, or my advice is not gospel. I'm not you
Yeah.
know take it for what it is, but do your own research too. So, if you're going to ask me about something, um, you don't have to take my advice, but I do buy and sell a lot of cards, so I've got it dialed in pretty well. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but
No,
it's
it's not rambling. I frame what you're saying. Is you look at the totality of it, people. That's what we're trying to say. I'll give a great example of the positive. I sold a hockey card, which is a rarity for me, about 2 months ago, and the guy messages me, and it was a plain, sent in an envelope, my plain brown envelope. I don't do white envelope. If anybody ever got an envelope, anybody gets an envelope card from me, they'd be impressed. I do a pretty darn good job of my plain brown envelope. Looks neat. I like it.
that's
I
smart
don't
too,
like
because they
sending
can't
them.
see through it.
Yeah, I don't like doing it, but again, if that's what we got to do, then whatever. So it's gone, and he sends me, hey, 3 weeks goes by. Hey, what happened to the hockey card? Now, here's an example. It was a Terry Sawchuk 68, 69 OPG. It was like a $20 card. I could have said, too bad, so sad. You envelope shipped it. I don't know where it is. I gave him the money back. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I have never lost a card. I have never had a problem shipping anything, and that's just thousands of cards. Ever had an issue. So to me, I'm like, oh, that's weird. But hey, it could happen. I gave him the money back. Well, about 3 weeks later, so now we're like, well, a month and a half, almost 2 months into the deal. Michael Franklin, I'll say the name, Michael Franklin sends me a message. Hey, the card showed up and sent me the money back.
That's
So
cool.
doing the right thing begats the right thing. You see what I'm saying, people?
Yeah, yeah.
Because, you know, $20, whatever, I mean, I'm not gonna have my reputation or get into a thing on the just, then everybody goes public. That's everything too. People, if you have a problem, DM, handle it privately. I promise you, I will never, ever, 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 ever out you in public, regardless of what you do. ever. I had that happen this week. You know, I'm very responsive to people. And if you send me a message, I'll do anything I can to make it right. My wife says I'm the nicest guy in the world. I tell her I'm a prick, but I'm not because apparently everybody thinks I'm pretty nice. But you know, so I'm going to do everything I can to try to make it right and keep it right. So I was going to get into a deal over $20, and the moral of the story is that Michael Franklin did the right thing. I had done the right thing initially. So you know, hey, I didn't have to give him the $20 back. You know, that wasn't my
Yeah.
problem,
Yeah.
but I did. And then what happened? The card showed he did the right thing and sent it back. Maybe he
Sure.
did. Maybe next time it would be different with somebody else. Who cares? You know, it's not, you know, it's only cardboard. It's not, the relationships are more important. So the bottom line is, hey, I had a couple more hockey cards in my sale this week, you know, because hockey people are all right, because I generally
Right.
don't sell hockey. But the bottom line, everybody benefits, right? I'm like, hey, you know, these hockey collectors are okay. Let's start selling some hockey cards.
Right.
And I
They're
was
very
fortunate in
fanatical
that,
too.
right? Yeah, they are
Yep.
fanatical.
Yeah,
So, but
that's great to hear, man. That's and that unfortunately I think with that's why I stopped doing PWE plain
right.
white envelopes is because I just 3 or 4 in a 4 month period just
Mhm.
gone.
I remember,
And,
yeah.
yeah, and I'm just like, I'm I'll hold through 4 sales for somebody if I need to, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to do that. I need some tracking, and I get why you do it.
Hmm. I
I've
don't have
just
the, yeah, I'm not holding on. I don't have the time. So,
yeah, my experience has not been good with it, so I'm just like I'm out. You
then
know.
also too, again, right? We don't do things right. I could put a list out on our channel or on our group today about a page and a half long of I got you know, walkaways. You know, will you hold this for me, and then you never hear or see him again. Yeah, can you
Right.
hang on to this? Oh, I'll catch you next sale. You know, I had Chris Frank, right? Again, not to get back to Chris, he sent me the errand cards, but he pays as he goes. He'll get 3, 4 cards, 6 or 7. Here's the money. You know, he pays as he goes. We've been together long enough, like you know, over a year, and have that relationship where it's mutual trust, and he'll I'll hold cards till you know the end of days for Chris, because
Right.
you know he's not getting big dollar amounts, but you know, hey, he pays as he goes, pays as he goes. Matt Moser does it too, you know. So
Yeah.
again, I'll name your name if you're awesome and amazing, but if you're not, I'm not going to put you out there. You know, I can list a pile of cards that I got sitting in my closet that, you know, they just walked away. So that's why I don't like, that's why I'd rather send it in the envelope just to get it gone, be done with it. And you know, I want to say half the time with these people, they just maybe they forget about it. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's not, they're not being malicious. So why am I going to go on my, so say if I'm running the sale, why am I going to go on my sale and say, you know, hey, Joe XYZ, you owe me money from, you know, 2 months ago. And it might be a pittance and a little piddly ass amount of money. And now it's a whole big thing. And no, that's not how we do things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what messaging's for. My whole thing, on a positive note, I have noticed
sure.
the people I've been buying from have been great lately.
Yeah.
It's more the people that are buying from me, I think, and on both for both you and I that have been kind of a mess a little
Yeah.
bit
Bit of a
lately.
mess.
But the people I've been buying from have been great. I mean, Zach Reyes is a guy that's in a number of different groups. I've gotten some good stuff from him lately. You know, just the getting quick tracking. I mean, that's one thing that's always been something that I harp on, because basically somebody pays me and I'm in sale mode, I have their tracking within about 5 minutes, usually.
All
So
right.
you know, it's a professional thing to do. Just treat yourself how you'd want to be treated if you're buying
Exactly.
something. So
Here's some ultimate honesty as a seller. Again, a little peek behind the curtain. You get to know me a little more. Unless you ask me to tag you, I will not tag you in my sale. And I'll be blunt. I'll be PG-13. I'm not a card and money whore. I'm not gonna tag the 900 people that bought cards from me in a sale. I'm not. I don't do it. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to bother people. I don't want to operate under the assumption that because you bought a card from me once, you're gonna buy a card from me again. I
right,
I think it's shilling, to be honest with you, to a certain extent. It's like, you know, please, please come feed the machine. Feed me, feed me, feed me. I need you. I'm not, if you ask me to, I will. I will tag you myself. 'Cause I've had people the last few weeks, why don't you tag me? This isn't fair. This isn't right. Well, life isn't fair. That's the first lesson I tell my kids in class is life isn't fair. Now we move on to point number two. But also, I do not want one single whale to come into my cell and just gobble everything up like a guy that we dealt with in another one. And I'm going to feed it the trough of the cards at the buffet table. Nobody's going to get anything. And if you have 10 Andre Dawsons for sale, I'm going to buy all 10 of them. I don't want that. I don't want that in my sales. I want everybody to have a chance. That's why I try to have some classic vintage, some, not a lot of hockey, basketball, football, but I put some in there. Baseball, a little high end, middle, low, obviously a ton of quarter cards, 50-cent cards. So unless you ask me, I'm not going to tag you. It's just not how I roll. It's not what I do. I have in this sale I'm looking at right now, 7 new buyers. I love it. That's
Yeah.
7 people I get to meet. 7 new people that they're going to get my cards, and again, not waving my banner, but they're going to be on point. They're all going to be penny sleeve. They're not going to be shoved in a little plastic box. They're not going to be all messed up. They're not going to be wrapped in toilet paper. They're not going to be smashed where you got to throw half of them in the garbage, which I had to do with a bunch of cards I got this week. They're on point. I don't care if you pay a penny or you pay $100. You get something from me, it's on point. I'm going to take care
Right.
of you, and I'm going to give you extra cards, and you're going to be like, what is you're gonna send me a message saying you sent me the wrong cards. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say no. That's what I do. People, I can give away these cards until the end of time, and that's what I
Right.
do.
Right.
So and I take care of it because if you spend $1, you spend 100. I love you all just the same, and it's the relationships that we make. And if I do make a mistake on something, I'm the first one on up to it. Oh, how many, oh, man, I sent you the wrong card. I'm gonna send you back a quarter. And you're like, a quarter? Are you kidding me? You're gonna send me back a quarter? All the free cards you sent me, dude, don't worry about it. And you know what I do? I send them back the quarter. Because that's what you
Right.
do. You do the right
Yeah.
thing. You don't just assume because that's the thing with these people. Look at me, I'm getting crazy now, wound up. But hey, if you're no, it's but if you're selling 25 cent $1 cards, don't I've heard so many times, well, it's just $1. Yeah, it's just $1. So what? I mean, it's a
Right.
dollar. It's not just $1. It's the fact that I bought the
It's the
damn
principle.
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying? And then it shows up and it's like wadded up in a freaking ball. And then your response is, well, it's only $1. Well, that's
yeah.
no way to be.
Right. I
I mean,
agree. I
it's just,
totally agree with you.
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
it just baffles me because if something's not right, just, make a point. Like, hey, this one's a little off. Get my, I had a few cards. I generally will not sell anything that's not right.
Right.
But sometimes with vintage, right, we're gonna have dinged up corners and creases, and I make a point. Hey, right corner, the bottom's messed up, or it's off center, or
Make sure
it's
you
the
tell them.
edges. You gotta at least say something because the picture, you're not gonna see it in the picture all the time. They need to know
Right.
it's there. Don't just take a picture and slap down, hey, this is $5, and then it shows up, and you're going, what is this?
Yeah. But
Or like with off center cards, there's a lot of 9 freaking cards of my guy Templeton, and I don't do off center, and my cards come in are off center. It's like I picked, 1, 7, 8, 9, and I do that a lot with my cards, right? Because that's I'm the world I'm in, the 25 cent, 50 cent. Hey, here's 9, whatever, Frank Thomas cards, and the guy will go, I want 1, I want 7, I want 8 and 9. You send them one, and I know it's a pain in the ass, and it takes time. People, I don't mind. You want 1, 7, 8, and 9, you're gonna get 1, 7, 8, and 9,
right.
right? Because
Right.
you picked out 1, 7, 8, and 9. So there's something with 1, 7, 8, and 9 that you like, right? So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna send you, 2, 3, 4. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
because
I get it.
right,
But
I don't do off center. I don't do off center. So people, if you're gonna do that, just make sure it's centered up, all right? Because I will freak out, and I'm not gonna bother you. And that's the other thing too. Hey, I'm not gonna bother you again. It's just cardboard. I'm not gonna blow you up over 15 bucks, 20 bucks, 10 crappy cards. I'm not. I'm just gonna move on. And guess what? I'm probably never gonna buy another card from you again.
right.
So that's it.
Well, on a lighter note, now, and I think you needed to do this today to blow off a little bit of steam.
A little
So
bit. Yeah.
yeah, I could tell as the week went on. But um, you running any more stuff today? I know you had a sale
Oh, no,
yesterday.
I'm
You
done
doing
for the
anything?
weekend. Yeah,
All
just
right.
yesterday. That was good. I'm
Yeah.
really excited for next week. I can't wait.
Yeah. I've
And
got 33 packages. I've got to get
mm,
going. And so I don't know if I'm gonna.
yeah,
I
I got
think
a
I'm gonna do some
bunch.
more today, but whew, That's a lot of work.
It
This has been
is.
good to talk about, though. I think you and I talk a lot about the ins and outs of how this all works, and don't really ever address it in the show. And I think it's been
Mm-mm.
good to be able to kind of vent maybe a little bit. Um, there's been some things happen the last week, in my experiences with this that have kind of been like, okay, what am I doing here? But at the end of the day, it's fun. I still love it, So I I struggle sometimes with, should I let some things that happen in this space affect me the way that it does? But if you do it as much as we do it, you can't help but have that happen. So here's to a great rest of Sunday, and
Oh,
and
absolutely.
yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say, man. I think this has been good. I think this has been a cathartic thing, especially maybe for you.
Yeah.
You do seem to have some things you wanted to get off your chest, and it's been kind of bubbling up for a few weeks. So hopefully you'll stick with it, man.
No, you know
Yeah.
me. I'm a pit bull, just like my kids. I Dariana Cardona, right? Everyone,
Yeah.
Dariana Cardona. She graduated this week. Promised her mom at Christmas time we get it done, and we got it done. It had to be home by April, and back to New York City. So she was. That was a great day for me. Yeah, and it
That's
was
cool.
amazing. Yeah, she was with me on day one, and it's a little teeny tiny thing. Life got in the way, and that's what I'm talking about. People, it's just cardboard. I mean, Dariana Cardona, an 18-year-old kid from New York City, ends up down at our school in Florida, and now she's a high school graduate, got her diploma, and she's going back home to New York City, and the things that this is the way we need to remember the things that I take for granted, the things that I seen, that's routine for me, for a lot of people, and this can go back to our card thing. It's the impossible. It's
Yeah.
the unreachable dream. Um, so we need to remember that what is just normal for us may not be normal for somebody else. So Dariana is a great example because she's so excited. And there's my dog, fine being quiet. Dariana is so excited. Oh, Mr. Ford, I got a job at Starbucks. Waiting on her to go home. I mean, that's awesome. That's amazing. That's great. That's incredible. So I mean, those are the things. Sometimes we need to set our sights a little lower. So, and
Right.
part of my feistiness today is that realm I deal with every day. I see and hear things that I'm telling you, people. The cardboard, it's just cardboard, but that cardboard, the couple hours a day I spend with it, or every other day, I mean, it keeps my head clear.
Right.
So, I need it. I need things to be because, I get up at 4:30 in the morning and I say, this is these kids' stories to tell, not mine. But if you
Yeah.
heard some of them, you would just be aghast and oh, so Dariana, that's my shout out, and everybody that does buy cards for me, whether I love y'all, God bless you. Mostly it was just as a buyer more than a seller, but even if you rub me the wrong way, I still love you because that's just how I am.
Let's go have a good Sunday, Mark.
All right,
Let's go have a
brother.
good Sunday, man.
All
I
right.
don't I like I said, I didn't really buy a whole lot this week. Just not a lot on the buy side this week. So um don't have a whole lot of shout outs this week. I'll have some next week. But like I said again, I think this has been good and needed, and you know we'll reconvene. Have a little bit more linear show next week, and we'll go from there. So let's all have a good week, everybody. Let's enjoy what we're
No,
doing. And other than that, I mean, unless you have anything else to
no,
say,
I'm
I
good.
guess
I'm
we'll go
doing.
ahead and
I'm
wrap it
out.
up, man.
Everybody love everybody. All right. Let's all be
Yep,
better. All right. Later.
absolutely.
Peace.
Later, y'all.